How are we doing, Rattlers? Welcome to the pit. Welcome. Stay. It is another beautiful day to be alive. So, hello. Welcome to this sacred space. Before we dive in, I just want to set some boundaries because boundaries are very important. Again, just like when we get into a vehicle, hopefully you put on your seatbelt because that keeps you safe. It's a boundary. And I understand that boundaries are normally not placed when souls go live on their platforms. And I just witness how chaotic it is. And here, there's enough chaos going on in the world. Here is peace. Here is love. Here is kindness. And this is a 6D vortex, okay? So in the 3D, that is when, a lower vibration, and that's where you really have the projections. But here, I am just going to smile and move on because there's really no need to go at a low vibration, but I want to make sure we know what kind of space we are in. This is RattleXR. And for those who do not know what RattleXR is, I'll explain it. It is a soul medicine that I have cultivated from my own personal trauma. And this is the space where we don't need permission to be. I like your tattoos. Thank you. And thank you for being kind. So I just want to make sure we're all in the right space because it's interesting when I see projections come in, and I want to break it down like this. It's kind of like you go to Burger King, right? And you go inside Burger King and you are huffing and puffing because the workers are not wearing Cheesecake Factory uniforms and they're not even selling cheesecake. It's the same thing, right? Like, so please read the energy, read the space, and I understand that this is not for everyone, and if it's not, this will be the time to slither out and we say much love. All right? And if this medicine is tingling in your body, consider becoming a rattler. This is our space of freedom. Freedom to just be your beautiful self, right? So I just got done doing my core leadership development training. It's a year program, and today we were talking about like a schedule and doing the things that we really want to do and having grace when we don't necessarily align. And I had to write down mine. And basically we talked about a rock and having 3 rocks that really motivate you. My first one was to be myself. I think that is number one uno, because if I'm not myself, everything else doesn't align. Like, I can't truly be the best stepdad that I want to be if I'm not truly being my unique self. So yesterday I went to Home Depot, and this girl, this little girl, I don't know, she was probably, I don't know, 16, 17. She was staring at me, and I'm like, what are you staring at? And then this other guy came up to me, older gentleman, and I don't know if you ever had this feeling where you can just feel like someone's looking at you. And I looked up, and then there's this guy looking at me, and I'm like, yes, can I help you? And he's like, I really like your raccoon hat, which is... it's somewhere, I don't know where it's at. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he was like, it made me remember of myself being younger, my inner child. And he was like, keep it up. And I was like, wow, thank you. Something just like that. You just never know how you are going to brighten someone else's day just by being your unique self, right? So that felt good. It felt good in my soul, that me just being myself and seeing how my energy vibrated someone else's energy. And it was just he had like this biggest smile on his face. And that is what we do here, okay? So that was the first thing, was to be myself. The next thing underneath that was to be Dr. Rattle. And no, not a medical doctor. I do not want that stress nor pressure. But I'm grateful for the medical doctors. Being in the healthcare field alone is very challenging. But no, I am a doctor in creating soul medicine. And I created an antidote, and that's called RattleXR. And that is for us to release suppressed energy out of the body. It don't hurt. I don't know what that means. But anyway, so showing up like this, showing up as one, your true self, which is, hello, this is who I am, and to really connecting to your higher self. Your higher self, what I mean by that is who you are destined to be on this planet. And I always knew at a very young age I loved helping people, hence why I got into nursing or healthcare, but it's also very exhausting. And that's why I'm on pause right now, because it's very exhausting in the healthcare. This, however, I can do this all day. I can create all day, and it's more than creation, it's my medicine. Okay, what was my third thing? Oh. All right. Oh, there it is. CEO of my life. I didn't really understand when people would say life is what you make it. And at the time I was like, easier said than done, but now I'm understanding it. Example. Let's just say someone pisses you off, right? Which happens. Like, even when I get projections through here, it doesn't piss me off. It's disappointing. I think the disappointment is it's unfortunate that is the first thing on our connection. The first thing that we are doing is judging, and I go to a higher vibration of, wow, is this what society is turned into? And then I go to a higher vibration of, is this how this person interacts with random people? Like, are you gay? Is that your real hair? Is that the first thing we do when you interact with someone? Yikes. But yeah, being a CEO, meaning, okay, how am I going to react to that? Am I going to be all pissy and get all angry and do the thumb war? Why, you little... No. Life is what you make it. I am just going to look, smile, and move on. So that is being the CEO of my life and doing things that I love and not shrinking because it makes someone else feel uncomfortable. There's this chick that I really want to look more into. Her name is Mel Robbins, and I was talking to my partner yesterday, and my partner was telling me more about Mel, and a beautiful, powerful thing that Mel Gibson says is, let them. Ooh. Let them judge, let them critique, because honestly, it says so much more about that individual. And I have to keep saying that to myself constantly because we're not taught this. I wasn't fucking taught this in nursing school, ever. I wasn't taught this in elementary school, high school. I was never taught when someone says something negative to you, it's not yours to carry. And then I have always thought, especially in relationships, okay, what do I need to fix? Do I need to be more buffed? Do I need to have my hair shorter? Or whatever it may be. I go into this cycle of looking at myself, analyzing what is it internally that I need to fix, and being into this this program and just kind of learning about myself and learning that these projections are coming from a place of the wounded self. I mean, how many of us learned that? I didn't learn that. The wounded self. What does that even mean, right? The wounded self. Well, let's just say, for example, you're someone that always wanted to be expressive, and mommy or daddy didn't approve it. They shrunk you. They would say, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, basically fixing you. And also, since I'm on this journey, in this pit, we do not fix people. So when someone says, why, that is you trying to fix me. I don't want to be fixed, okay? And they teach you that in nursing school. You never want to ask, like, why questions. More like, tell me more, you know? Or how does that make you feel? Not why, because why just feels very downgrading, and it also looks like a disguise, meaning, what are you really trying to ask me here? Because I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad, I'm not the one who said shrink, 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 shrink. No, this space, we can expand, we can be expressive. Hold on. So a wounded self. So when I come up here expressive and raw, that is going to trigger someone, especially someone that really wanted to be expressive, but was punished for doing so. So a wounded self. So their survival self is like gay, and why are you doing this, and why that, and why. And the reason why I'm so huge on this topic is because being in healthcare, and especially being in the behavioral aspect of it and working with adolescents and seeing actually the side effects of what happens when people are suppressing their energy, it is dangerous to the body, okay? People don't want to be here anymore. So they want to check out, they want to numb. So that's why I've created this space, so you don't have to numb, you don't have to binge watch TV or put alcohol down your throat to feel alive. So that's why this space exists, and so many other reasons why. So during our session today, just really talking about our importance and really talking about aligning to our truth. And again, going back to the beginning, being yourself. Because it's kind of like being in a relationship with someone and you truly don't love yourself. So how can you truly love someone else if you are still having all of these internal battles, all of these demons And so, yeah, this is the space where we can heal from that. So what else did we talk about? Um, talk about, we talked about judgment. That's the same thing with projections. And one of the buddies, because we have like homework, we have a project coming up, and I really love LDT because it's teaching us. I mean, I'm going to use these tools until the day I die, like active listening, non-violent communication. And I also understand not everyone has the resources for this program, and this program is still somewhat new. It's called Core, if anyone's interested. But here, I can create a space and put out the medicine for myself, number one, and for those that this aligns with. And I really like using the term 6D because it really elevates us to a higher vibration, like the mermaids. And I believe in that shit. Like, I mean, I don't know, that's a whole different ballgame. So anyway, so we talked about that today, and it was just really beautiful hearing and seeing my cohort and kind of catching up. And I just love that we were talking about something that's so powerful and not talked about enough, and that is judgment, projections. And you just don't know how you can brighten someone else's day just by being you. And people are going to judge you no matter what. So I would rather them judge me. Go ahead and fucking judge. Do what you got to do. But at least I'm being my beautiful self. And at least I know I'm going to leave this avatar saying I did what I needed to do on this planet, and I didn't shrink for a damn soul. Period. Another example can be if you've ever been in a relationship, and it doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. It can be like a relationship with your friend or with yourself. And you're getting ready to go out somewhere, and they're like, girl, don't wear that. Or bro, don't wear that, man. And you're looking at it, and you're like, this looks actually really good on me. Why do they not want me to wear it? Or then you say, that doesn't look really good on you. And then you have to ask yourself, are they telling me to shrink? Are they telling me to be someone that I don't really want to be? I want to express this way, but my fiance or my friend is telling me something completely different. And I believe if they're not on your 1 inch, and we'll talk about that next, then their opinions really don't matter. And I think just being in this digital world, because I don't crave for opinions, I don't crave for validation. Thought someone was here. I don't crave for that because I don't do it for approval. Because if that was the case, fuck. Life is short. And when I was doing my healing, it was just me, myself, and I. Just like it's me, myself, and I right now. Well, I'll take that back. The dogs are here. Angels are here. Spirits that I probably can't see with the naked eye. So no, I know I'm not alone. But sometimes going live on these freaking war zones can feel like you're alone. Because it's like, am I the only person that feels like this is not okay? Like the first thing you do to open yourself up, and you're getting just immaturity. And it's just so interesting because I could never go up to someone, especially in my work field, my workspace. Let's just say if I got a new intake, I would never go up to a patient and say, "Are you gay?" One, I'd probably get my license revoked. Two, I would probably be in the HR's office. So how come it's okay to do it here? That's the part I don't understand. Are you just going to go into a grocery store and say, "Are you gay? Is that your real hair?" And you better hope and pray that this person is not at a low vibration, because you might get smacked. And no, we don't condone violence here, but people are on edge, right? And I understand why. You have people fighting on airplanes. Like, what the fuck? Because venom is leaking out. We can't keep suppressing energy and acting like everything's all hunky-dory, because it's not. So that's why I've created this space where we can heal, because this world that we live in, it's something, right? So look at these beautiful horses. And you know what's really cool about these horses? Their hooves are like different colors. It doesn't make them ugly. It makes them beautiful. It makes them unique. I could literally just stay out here all day, which I probably will. I love being outdoors, and just look at the horses and be with nature. It's so powerful for me. And again, if you are vibing with this medicine, consider helping the pit grow with your energy and with your love. So, what else do we talk about? So yesterday I led my sharing circle, and bless me. And I feel like I did a really good job with the sharing circle. I think sometimes it's challenging to hold the space, especially if one of my cohorts are going through just life, like financially, or if I have a cohort that I was touched by one of my brothers yesterday. He shared a really powerful love note that he wrote. And the love note was about his father who passed. And he had this huge download that his father always loved him. But his father treated him like shit. But still, he knew deep down his father loved him. And how many of us can relate to that? How many of us have either lost a family member and they treated you like shit, and then maybe you had this download, or maybe they connected with you and said maybe they were sorry, or that they loved you but just didn't know how to love you. And it's unfortunate that that happens. I mean, my mom, I feel like deep down my mom loves me, but on the surface level, it's really hard to see that. Like, we don't talk that much, and every time we do interact, she just wants money from me, and I'm not made out of money. So that hurts my soul when there's really no connection. There's like such a disconnect for my mother and I. And recently I had to block her out of my life because I can't be around people that drain me. And my mother, unfortunately, she is one of those souls who drain me. Mentally, physically, emotionally. But here in the pit, that is where I recharge by creating and connecting to God, because when I create, that's what it feels like. I get a vibration through my whole being, and I just smile ear to ear, and I even get emotional. of just pure joy, because that is how that's how I feel like we should live our life. Pure joy, and being goofy and being wild, and not taking life so seriously, and not trying to please every, I don't know, every being that we come across, because that's exhausting. And living life unapologetically. And I get it, not every space accepts that. Like, you can't just go into your job. Like, if you're in a corporate setting, let's just say if you work for the FBI, you can't just go in with a crop top, right? Like, there is a time and a place where we have to plug into that 3D world of professionalism. Like, if I go into a facility, I can't wear a crop top, I have to wear scrubs. Like, there's a time and a place. So when I'm in my pit, I want to be wild. I want to be free with my expression. And I want to give other beautiful souls permission to be wild, to take the RattleXR for yourself and personally experience it. And again, that means going to the bathroom, the kitchen, the garage, anywhere where you can just be free in the music. And it's, try it yourself, right? So yeah, I had a really powerful sharing circle yesterday, and I had this urge to help. Like, I really wanted to help one of my soul sisters, especially when people start crying. I want to start crying with them. And so when she started crying, I'm like, oh no, I'm trying to be strong. I have to be a strong facilitator. What are you doing? I have my dogs here, and they're like children. Like, gotta love them, but damn. Especially boy dogs, because they like to mark their territory, so I'm like watching them. And I'm also watching the beautiful horses run wild. Isn't that beautiful? They just run and play, and that is what we do here in the pit. We run with our imaginations and our creative expression. It's just really beautiful. To be in that element. So, now that we've kind of connected, now I've been talking about healthcare and my journey with healthcare, and how I just feel like there's no gray, it's just black and white, and that freaks me the fuck out. Because I know that I'm human. And I know that I make mistakes, but I just ask myself, oh my God, what scares me the most is making a mistake and having that mistake be deadly. Like giving someone the wrong medication, because I am getting split into 500 pieces. That scares me, because I've seen it happen to nurses that are so precise, and they still make mistakes because they're human. And the human body, you really think the human body really knows how to multitask? And it's just not multitasking, it's taking care of someone's life. And I just don't understand how, there's so many things I don't understand. But one thing I don't understand is there's really no flexibility of, do they not see what happens on these floors? It's not like you see in Grey's Anatomy. Like, there's real life shit. And I saw a comment yesterday. Someone said that CNAs don't get paid enough. And a CNA is a certified nursing assistant. And I will have to say, I 1,000 agree to that. And I don't feel like anyone in the healthcare system gets paid enough, because again, we are taking care of a human body. The human body is worth billions and billions. Actually, we are priceless, but yet we are getting paid scraps. And CNAs, I feel like they do a lot of fucking hard work, especially in the rehab, nursing facility type of field, because they are doing the lifting. The nurses and the rehabs, you know what they do? God love them, because I'm not saying that their job is easy, because it's not. I think anyone working in healthcare, your life is not easy, because anyone, even down to dietary, let's just say, for example, you're doing the meal ticket, okay? And for those who don't know, a meal ticket is basically a piece of paper, and it says what kind of diet the patient's on, puree, which means everything's all blended up so they don't have aspiration, or it's mechanical soft, or it's regular diet. Let's just say, and it happens so many times, even I have done this. There's been times where I've almost gave someone the wrong effing tray, and that is dangerous, especially if they're not on the same diet plan. So anyways, let's just say dietary is short-staffed, because it happens. They're rushing, trying to get the food, and one of the dietary aides tells the cook, okay, this person is a regular, but they really were a puree. And then the aides are busting their asses, trying to get the food out, and then we have someone aspirating because someone wasn't paying attention, just like that. But you know what's even fucked up, even more fucked up? Guess who actually probably get in more trouble than the cook? The person who passed the tray. Because they're going to say, well, state is going to say, didn't you read the ticket? Didn't you check? Didn't you ask the patient, can you state your first and last name? I mean, technically, that's what you're really supposed to do. You're supposed to verify and make sure, because typos happen. Anything can happen in healthcare. And as soon as something happens, whoop, they're coming right back to you, Rattlers. And I don't want that fucking pressure. No, thank you. So I've seen it. And you don't just have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a doctor. Even a janitor. Let's just say you're mopping the floor, okay? You're short-staffed because, yes, housekeeping gets short-staffed. And let's just say you're mopping the floor and you forgot to put up the wet sign, okay? And then you have an elderly patient walking, and then they slip, fall, break their hip. Do you know who's going to be in trouble? You guessed it. The janitor. Or housekeeping, right? We don't get paid enough in healthcare for the job that we do, because anything can happen, and if it goes back and harms the patient, that is not good. So, and another thing that rattles my cage is when state comes in. Now, if anyone's ever worked in healthcare, then you know what I mean by state. And if you don't know, I'll do a quick little demonstration. State is when I think they do like, there's an annual check, but also if you have a complaint, if someone complains about something, then state can just do a random pop-up. And I remember when I was working in behavioral health, when I was a house manager, I would have to get audited, and it would literally freak me the freak out, because this lady, Audrey, God love her, until she was my boss, she would check the MAR, she would check the progress notes, she would check the refrigerator, she would do an inspection of the house, and it's like walking on pins and needles. But I get it. She's doing her job, yada, yada, yada. Moving on. So with state in the building at a nursing home, it's the same shit. It's literally, I don't like to jump around job to job. And like I said, I'm a loyal person. So when I'm in a job, I like to stay there for a while. But the jobs that I have worked, it has always been the effing same. Normally, we're short-staffed. We're looking for fucking equipment. We are breaking our backs, and we're getting residents that don't really match the population, meaning we're getting patients that are having behavioral issues climbing out of the bed. So why are we getting more behavioral patients if we barely have the staff? Like, I don't understand that, but I'll tell you why. My hypothesis is because they got to keep the rooms filled, right? Forget that we are short staffed. Forget that our bones are freaking burning from bending over, or our skin is burning from getting scratched by residents. Yeah, this is what we go through. So anyways, they will either have it normally starts like this: states in the building, states in the building, get your name badge, get on your walkie, the walkie that we never fucking use. It's just, it looks like a freaking circus, and I'm wondering to myself, I wonder if state actually thinks that we are like this on a daily basis, because it looks so, it just doesn't look like it just looks very chaotic to me. So anyway, and then so everyone's rushing around. The nurses are like checking the med card, and normally I don't freak out because this is what I do. I make sure the bed is at the lowest of the lowest, because if that resident rose out of the bed, the first thing they're going to do is, who was the last person in the room? You know, protocol. You got to put the bed at the lowest of the low, make sure the call plate is connected, make sure they have their side table, make sure they have their water picture, blah, 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 blah. So I don't really worry about it. There has been times where I had to do catheter care, which is easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I had to do it on the female, which again, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So anyway, what else did I have to do? Oh, and I had to do a Hoyer. What else did I have to do? I had to, normally I bob and weave when state comes, because it's this just annoying when they're there, because they're walking around with a clipboard, and they're watching you like pass trays, and they're watching. It's really fucking intimidating, what it really is. But anyway, all of these people that I've never seen before working at these facilities, they come out of the woodworks. They're answering lights. They're passing trays. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Is this really happening? This is horseshit. It's really what it is, because normally we don't have this type of help. So of course, when we have this help, the residents are happy, the staff are happy, but not really, because we know it's a fucking illusion. But the boards, they want you to pass for the illusion that, oh, we have all the staff in the world, and oh, you have the equipment that you need to do your care. No! Not in the places I've worked. So, this is why I quit my last job. Because I'm a human, and I have human things that happen outside of just working 12-hour shifts. So I also do real estate. And so I'm new in real estate, doing Airbnb, and it's also very exciting, but you know, when you have to, what's the word? It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's also exciting just to get it all decorated and get it all nice and get the vibe right for the visitors. And it's called Zen Wolf. And I'm going for that spiritual, like, let your hair down type of vibe, because my last name is Wolf. And I believe in being a leader, Wolfpack. It's in my DNA. Anyway, so it was, I think I was at the point where I wanted some more help with doing the Airbnb. Oh, because I'm in the LAT program, and just like traveling and stuff of that nature. So I got some outside help from another company, and I'm not going to say the company because I'm not going to use them again. They're awful. Not awful. Let me take that back. They don't work and communicate the way that I value. So let me tell you what happened. Let me tell myself what happened. This is me just being, this is me in the Rattle Cage. So we had a hiccup with the scheduling. I was doing Airbnb, and then the new company that I used got double booked. And so I literally told the company, okay, these are the dates that I have someone coming in, so we can't book them during these dates. Somehow something happened. Again, nothing is perfect. Clearly, we had a disconnection with technology, or she didn't hear me, or I didn't hear her, whatever. Okay? So I'm enjoying my weekend, and then I get a text from Airbnb, and the guy was saying, "Is there someone else here in your condo?" I'm like, "No." And he said, "Well, there's bags everywhere." And I'm like, fuck. So the first thing I thought someone broke in the bitch. I thought someone broke into the condo. They're living there, because it happens. Hoarders, it's a real thing. And so I'm freaking out thinking someone broke into the condo and they're staying there. And I'm like trying to like figure all of this out. It was on I think it was on a Friday. It was Friday night when I got the text. And then Saturday, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go up there and see what's going on. So I needed the next day off. I think I needed the Monday off because I needed to figure out like what happened. And so I called out. And I got in trouble for calling out. And I said, you know what? Why am I getting in trouble for calling out? And they're like, this is what happened. Because the day before, I went to HR and I said, do I have any PTO time? And she says, you only have sick time. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I said, well, what I don't understand is I am mentally, physically sick of the fucking system that I need to ask permission to take care of an issue. Because if I don't take care of the issue, it is going to cause internal stress, right? And my brain goes to this spot where if I'm on the floor, I need to make sure that I'm alert. I need to make sure that I'm focused. I want to make sure I can give the best care ever. And so if I have other things floating in my mind, like, oh my God, what's going on with my condo, and things of that nature, I'm not truly focused. And so I took a personal day. God forbid. I took a personal day. And you would think the world was coming to a fucking end. And I'm just beside myself because I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Like, I come in here and bust my damn ass. I work short-staffed. I'm searching the fucking building for wipes and breathing equipment and getting our asses kicked by residents, and you are going to give me crap because I need to take care of a human thing that happens outside of life care. And so I was just really irritated about that. And I was also irritated because the lack of communication to me is very, very, very important. And if I'm supposed to be at work at 7, and I get it, when they're short, I get pulled to the floor, which is annoying because they tell you, oh, we're not going to pull you, and then I'm getting pulled. After just having a meeting with the DON, and she's telling me and my partner, they're not going to keep pulling us to the floor, and then I'm getting pulled to the freaking floor the next day. So I was already starting to get a little agitated. And what really would annoy me is they are pulling me to the floor. They're calling me at like 6:30 saying, oh, we need you at the floor. Okay, you're mean to tell me 30 minutes after, so then I have to get up, rush, and then I have to do all these freaking vital signs, which is annoying. Like, I don't like that. And I told them multiple times, I don't mind being pulled to the floor, but can you please give me enough time to get ready, to get my mind ready to do what I need to do on the floor? Oh yeah, we'll tell you in enough time. No, they don't. They keep telling me last fucking minute. and then I'm driving, rushing to the facility, running around with my head cut off, trying to get all the vitals. It's just not the way that I want to work, because in that environment, that is when incidents happen. And these patients are not just patients, they are human beings like you and I. And I desire to give them the best care possible. So I was already getting frustrated at the job that I've been working at. And so I was getting to a point where I was like, I don't want to quit, but I'm not happy here. And I feel like I was living in I don't know, a movie, and I kept hitting rewind and hitting play because I would hear myself talk to my fiance, and I feel like I was just repeating myself, and I'm like, okay, something is just not changing here. Like I don't want to keep talking till I'm blue in the face, but literally when you go into these type of facilities and you see how these residents are being treated, meaning like the care quality, to me it puts a freaking knot in my stomach. So, moving on. I was getting nervous because I feel like my license was starting to come in jeopardy, because let's just say they want you to get a weight on a patient, and let's just say, well, you don't have enough help to get the weight on a patient, and the patient requires a mechanical lift. And so you're looking for help, and then, the quick fix will be, okay, I'll just lift them up real quick and I'll just lift them up real quick and put them on a Hoyer. And that is a big no-no. Because this is what happened. There was a CNA, God bless her. But the CNA got in trouble for this at my facility, and this is why state came. Short-staffed, night shift, and kudos to the ones who work night shift. There's no effing way I can do night shift. But anyway, one of the residents needed to get put back in bed, and the patient was telling the aide, okay, well, I'm a Sarah lift, and the aide was like, well, there's no help around, I can just lift you, you're light. And then the patient said, no, don't lift me. And then she's like, well, we can get the lift, and then I can just do it real quick. Okay. For those who are in healthcare, please, for the love of God, please, save your license, save the patient. If a patient ever wants to be lifted and you know that they are a 2-person, please get the 2 people. It's just not worth it. And let me tell you why. Because the poor patient, she broke her femur. And she already had a lot of issues going on already. And the aide dropped her. Yeah, dropped her. Broke her femur, state came. It was a whole shebang. So I was really even more confused even after state came. And this was a DON, a director of effing nursing, still allowing the aides to lift the people without 2 people. And what really rattled my effing cage was I was already annoyed because I got a text around the time I didn't want to get a text saying, we need you on the floor. So I get to the floor, and I don't know who had the floor behind me, but it was a hot effing mess. And what really bothered my soul is when I just hearing other patients saying that they haven't been touched in hours, they haven't been changed in hours. And then you see the aftermath. You see how they haven't been changed, and you're like, whoa. And so I said something to the DON. I told her, I was just speaking my truth, and I was telling her what I'm witnessing. I said, these patients are not getting changed. And then I said I went into a room a couple days ago and I almost threw up from just the negativity, the dignity that these patients are going through, and just it made my stomach hurt. And then feeling so emotional when I'm witnessing another human being that hasn't been touched in hours and they're laying in feces. Just like there's really no excuse. And I was so angry at the DON because I'm like, you know what? If I was a DON, I would be in this bitch. I would be changing these briefs. I would make sure these residents are taken care of. I would make sure the nurses are not behind the nurses station just gossiping on TikTok. I'm like, how the fuck? How? I don't get it. I would make sure the aides have their proper equipment, not searching for hours for wipes. Like, it's just, it doesn't make sense. And it's not just at this facility. It has been at almost every facility I have worked at. It's the same shit, different day. The grass is not greener on the other side. So when I can go live and move my body and I see almost 500 beautiful souls in the pit, that vibrates my soul. I don't feel exhausted. My body is not aching from lifting people and like, no. I feel valued. I feel like I am actually doing something. And yes, I feel like I'm doing something in healthcare, but I feel like I'm talking to a dead horse. Like when I talk to the DON and she just looks at me like she just has no soul. And when I write something so powerful and then she just says, okay, thanks. It's like, oh my God, these people are on like an autopilot. And that's how it is in the healthcare system. It is all about the book. It's all about just bullshit because it's not realistic. It's not, they don't really teach you what you really need to know. And that is, one, how to work as a team, how to deal with just violence from patients, from family members. I remember there was this one time where this patient, she didn't know any better. And she was in the day room and she had her shirt on and she would just lift her shirt. And that's what happens sometimes. And there was another patient in the dining room and it was a male patient. And then the son came to visit the mom. And I just remember hearing this scream and this yell. I'm like, what is going on? And the son is making this big scene at the nurse's station saying, I'm going to call the cops and I'm going to push that resident out the window. Yeah, this is what we go through. Yeah, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. No, we go through some crazy shit. And here we are getting paid breadcrumbs. But yet the body is priceless. Help me understand. So anyway, my partner and I, we remove the patient, we put her, like we change her, we get her more presentable, and God, the son is just going off on, and he's even getting upset at the other patient. I'm like, the patient doesn't know any better, but he didn't understand that. So moral to the story, he took his mother out of the facility. I wasn't surprised about that. And yeah, it's just interesting because it's not just always the patients. Sometimes it's the family members or the doctors or other nurses. You just really never know what you're going to get into. So that's why for me personally, I have to find something that I can do after work to release and to be free, because working in the healthcare world, you are not free. It is you just have to be very careful Again, because this is someone's life that you are taking care of. And I remember the whole Rhonda case. And if people don't know the Rhonda story, she was an RN working at a hospital, and they say pictures tell 1,000 words or say 1,000 words. And I was looking at some of her pictures, and you can just tell that it was honestly a human mistake. At least that's how it looked like to me. And of course, the hospital didn't want to take any accountability, even though they override the medication, even though they allow, them to do certain things that they weren't supposed to do. But as soon as something hit the fan, then they want to point the finger. Oh, we know nothing about it. Bullshit. So no, I am not jumping up and down for joy to go back into nursing, because I feel like it's a dangerous fucking trap. Just the stress of it all. And maybe one day things would change, but I feel like if we paid the CNAs their value, maybe they will give better care. I mean, it's the connection. I feel like it's all connected, right? CNAs feel like they are less than, and that I don't understand, because they do so much. Like I was telling myself, wouldn't this be cool if you had a level 1 nurse, right? A level 1 nurse is basically the basic care, the vital signs, the bathing, the feeding, the insulin, the catheters, cool. And maybe we can go to a level 2, and that's where we get into like passing certain medications. And then level 3 is like the RN. Wouldn't that be cool? And we got paid very equally to a certain degree, where we all feel valued. It's sad, because I remember working with one of my friends, and she reminds me so much of me. Her name's Jill. God love her. Tiny little thing. And like, she's just a go-getter, and we're busting our ass. And I just remember charting, and she would come in and she's like, "Oh, Leo," that's my first name. Like, "Leo, I am so exhausted." And I'm like, oh God, like, we shouldn't have to feel that way. Like, she just plopped right next to me as we were trying to chart, and as soon as we sit down, all the freaking lights were on again. It's like Christmas. But I feel like the human body shouldn't feel that way, and if it does, what are we doing to compensate it? We're not getting paid the good money to go to a nice spa, right? Or to go on a nice vacation. No. We're barely having the money to keep the lights on. So help me understand, why is there such a shortage with pay in healthcare? And it's such a vital job. You are taking care of someone's life force. So that's why I'm taking a break, because there's a lot of, and what really rattled my soul is our DON, God love her. Instead of giving us raises, you know what she does? She buys a new little Venom machine snack little area. Why do we need that? Why do we need more processed junk so the residents can eat it? You don't even give them exercises, and they just sit in bed all day. So yeah, let's rot their teeth even more. And I was just shocked, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I literally can't. And then right before I put in my 2 weeks, I had a buddy of mine, and he was what did he do? Maintenance. And he came up to me and he was like, "Leo, like, I'm just done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I have a son though that I have to support." And he's like, "I really like talking about sports." And he's like, "You seem like a really intelligent, cool guy, and like, any feedback?" And I was like, "Bro, like, have you thought about being like a news anchor or like into sports?" And he's like, "Yeah, I gave it some thought. I just don't know like where to start." And I think that's the hardest thing, is like, where do we start, right? And there's probably tons of people that love to talk about sports, like ESPN, right? So it's just, people are getting tired of the broken systems, and here we are not broken. So here again, we can create, we can be wild, and I have been cultivating this Rattlers for a long time. And I know it might be like I'm getting chills. Like, look at my arms, goosebumps. That's how you know that it's fucking real, and it lives within us. It's our DNA, right? Our DNA is what makes us so unique and beautiful, not just from the inside, but also from the out. So, I'm ready to start moving my body more. I used to be a go-go dancer, and I would just love being on that box and just dancing. We would dance for 4 hours, and I would dance and dance and dance, aka move my body, rattle. And I'm just telling myself I really miss it. And not just go-go dancing. What I miss is just moving my body. And I miss working at LA Fitness. And what I miss about it is I miss just having all of those souls in the space. Like, it was like a energy charge. Just having all of these souls and then seeing their reflection off the mirror and just seeing them move and scream out of joy, and seeing people be sexy, and I just loved it, and to see how in sync we were, and not necessarily, okay, they're doing everything that I'm doing, but in sync of the joy, of the freedom, of the expression of I don't give a fuck. That's what it was. And having people come up to me after and say, oh my God, like, I feel so amazing and I've lost so much weight, or I don't have to take an antidepressant anymore. Wow. Right? So when I left LA Fitness because they didn't treat my friend right, and I don't know why, and I think guys and girls do this, but what happened was, I think it felt like jealousy. I think that happens being human. I've been jealous before, and I go back and look internally. Okay, what is it in me that I need to work on? But anyways, I had this really, really beautiful friend of mine. Her name's Desiree, and funny enough, we met at LA Fitness. She came to my class, and everyone that has came to my class, majority, about I want to say 7 or 8 of us are still like this years later. Not only that, a couple that didn't even know each other, Rattlers, a guy and a girl, not that it matters here, they now are married with 3 beautiful kids. And why do I share that beautiful story? Because energy attracts, right? If we are cultivating a space where people feel alive, where they feel freedom, that's the beautiful energy, and it's bringing them together, kind of like this, like bringing the souls that are ready for a space where they can just be, right? So anyway, working at LA Fitness, you have this kind of perk where you get a free membership and you can bring I think 2 guests. So it was a Thursday, and my friend Desiree, she calls me. She's like, "Hey, Leo, I'm here." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll be there like in 5 minutes." Okay, let's pause. It says, "I'm sorry, but," I say that, okay, what's going on with the but? "Can we not talk about work stuff unless you want feedback?" Well, this is where I am in my cage, where I don't really want feedback. I am just speaking my own personal opinions. And when someone says, but, that is a projection that I'm not here for. So, moving on. So I'm in the, she calls me, she says she's on her way, or she's there already, and I said, I'll be there in a little while. And she calls me again, she said, they're not letting me in the gym. And I said, how come? She says, they said that you have to be here. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so stupid, because normally they would allow her back there. And I'm like, someone must be new at the front desk, because this normally doesn't happen. And so I don't know what happened, but Desiree was saying something about they're not even letting her back now. And so I get there, and this girl up front, she's like, okay, who are you? And I was like, well, I'm the instructor here, and I have a class at 7 p.m. What's going on? And she's like, well, she can't just go back there unless you are here. And I'm like, okay, well, that's never been an issue before. And Desiree was like, why are you talking to him like that? Anyways, long story short, Desiree, the girl wasn't going to let her back there, because then she was like, oh, you're not going to go back there because now you have an attitude problem. And I'm like, are you, like, the girls are just being catty. And so after that, I was like, you know what, you're not going to disrespect my friend like that, because she's more than a friend. She's like my soul sister. And I quit. I said, I'm not going to be in a space where, one, my friends are my family, because they're like my family. And for those who are following me, you're not just following me, you are my family here, and my soul family. And I also understand, again, you know, not everyone grows up in a family where you are loved and valued and you're appreciated and you are allowed to be expressive and free. But here we can. So I've made my own family. And so anyway, I quit LA Fitness, and I've been on this journey of trying to not recreate LA Fitness, but use that medicine that I was doing there and to put it in a different vortex. And working in LA Fitness, it was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very corporate, and I'm just like done with corporate, like so over corporate. I feel like they don't have a fucking backbone. It's just very white and black, no in between. But anyways, Rattlers, I'm gonna slither off of here. Thank you so much for being here. I'm slithering out the cage, and I'll be back. Much love. Take care.